Hey everybody, I'm Sin. Welcome to the Book Nook. Today we're going to do another reading roundup, a week of what's been going on with the books in my life. What I've started, what I've finished, what I'm getting into, and all that good stuff. So let's talk about what I finished recently. Most recently, I finished The Lake of the Dead by Bjerke, and it was a fantastic read. This is a novel from 1942. It is a Norwegian crime novel with elements of horror and the occult and paranormal all kind of intertwined into it. And it was considered one of the best ever written books from Norway and recently translated into English. I believe it came out this past February. It's pretty short, 186 or 87 pages. And then after this one, I also finished Seasons of the Witch by Bebergal, How Occult Saved Rock and Roll. And man, what a wild and interesting journey. Just kind of, it gets into a lot of the different rock stars from back in the day and how some of them delved into occult and mystical things. And they talk about different bands like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, David Bowie, King Crimson, also a lot of other ones. And they talk about a few like present day too. They talk about Jay-Z and Public Enemy and how they've used like occult symbolism and stuff has been used in their videos and in their imagery with albums and all that stuff. And it's just like a really interesting take on it and just how it kind of had a big influence on rock and roll with different mystical properties and the subject matter of their songs and just all kinds of stuff. And it was a pretty fantastic read. I really liked it. So next up, finished those, and I started a book called The Great Witch of Britany by Louisa Morgan. So far, this book, gripped me from the beginning. I think I'm about 100 pages in, and it takes place in the 1700s when, the religious folk and the bishops and all that were, they were all about burning witches back then because, people are afraid of what they don't know, and, well, people are just plain terrible sometimes. So this book is about the main character, and her name is Ursula Orchier, and I believe it's Ursula, unless it's Ursule. It's Ursule. I've been saying it as Ursula in my head. I'm not 100% sure. We're going to go with Ursula. So it's the story of Ursula and how her grandmother had been a witch of enormous power, but then her mother did not have the gift at all, and then she comes into finding out that she has the gift, and it follows the story of her life, and so far it's really fantastic, and I will probably read more of this one tonight. It's been super enjoyable. This was a random one I picked up. I was in a witchy the witchy theme from the library. We got a bunch of books that had to do with which is, as you just saw, Season of the Witch, and then The Great Witch of Britany. But so far, it's pretty fantastic, and I'm really enjoying it. It's written really well, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So I put Dune on hold at the library. I've been meaning to read Dune for I don't know how long. And then dependent on how long it takes for Dune to get to the library, if it ends up being weeks and weeks, I'll probably just buy it because you can get it for $8 on the internet. So not too expensive. But yeah, this is a sci-fi book I've been meaning to read forever. Yeah, that's going to happen sooner or later. And then I'm also reading Shadow Atlas. It's a bunch of short stories and also poetry. And the artwork's pretty beautiful. It's called Shadow Atlas, The Dark Landscapes of the Americas. And it goes and it tells all these different almost mythological, paranormal, horror, and it's so freaking good so far. I think I'm about 60 pages in with this one. This one I got from NetGalley. I recently signed up for a NetGalley account, which is where if you do reviews for books, you can request books to get to review. So I saw that one because I was just farting around in there, and of course I put in Josh Mallerman, and this book popped up because he does one of the stories in it, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna request this, and like almost instantly I got approved. So I started reading it. So this is the one I'm reading on my my reader on my phone right now. I'm reading that one on the phone because the app is through NetGalley. I don't know if I could have sent it to the Kindle. The whole website's pretty cool, so I don't know, you could check it out if you're interested in that. Give an honest review, and then you can request books, and obviously you have to review it because it's connected to your account, all that good stuff. And then with Shadow Atlas, I'll give you a little bit of the synopsis of it. What it says is, the ancient peoples knew there were lands given over to shadow and spirit. The world is full of haunted places that exact a terrible toll on trespassers. Our forebears paid a heavy price to earn the wisdom and the warning they bequeathed to future generations. Time transformed their precious knowledge into superstition, but there are those whose hearts beat in rhythm with the past, and those whose vision is not clouded by modernity, seeking to reclaim humanity's early secrets. The Umbra Arca Society was forged. For centuries, this private league of explorers dedicated their lives to uncovering the oldest mysteries of the Americas. Armed with boldness and guile, and equipped with only a compass, a journal, and devotion to truth, these adventurers braved cursed landscapes, they dared unnatural adversaries, and exposed hidden civilizations. Many did not survive, none were forgotten. And so there's so many, I can't even tell you, there's probably like 20 or plus more authors that were involved in this anthology of books. And it starts out like the first intro into it is this whole like FBI document about this professor, and then they're trying to figure out if this whole thing was made up because he was known for lying about stuff about the Umbra Arca, and it's like it all ties in, so it interlaces it as a whole, and it's kind of an anthology of like the weird and strange creatures, and like I said, the mythologies and paranormal and horror, and so far it's just beautifully written, and it was like a random book I hadn't even heard of, so I was excited to read it. Yeah, all good stuff. Thank you everybody for joining me today in the Book Nook. If you had fun hanging out, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notifications, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more books and weird stuff. We'll get into some good trouble. Until next time, when we talk about the awesomeness that is books, because I love it, you love it, that's why we're here. We'll see you later. We'll see you later. Bye!